Welcome to more garbage content on how to build a twin-turbo V10 Nissan Patrol. Today is basically getting the car into the state you see it now, which, contrary to what you might think, is just about ready to drive.
Oh, fancy seeing you here. What are you doing down there?
Today, I have decided that I'm fed up of this thing sitting around not driving. So my plan is to do as much as humanely possible within the next 24 hours. Or at least until I get fed up and go home. So here's the plan. Finish my turbo actuators. Sort out some ABS stuff so I can finish some computer things. Then do the computer things. And then finish off all the wiring in the back of the car so it doesn't look like a jumbled mess anymore. Because it currently looks like a jumbled mess. I'm also going to do something about mounting this in the place that it has to go, because having it floating around in the back is less than ideal. All of this and more. But first, that's about as good as you're going to get, because I don't know where the cover for it is. Never thought I'd get called up for an electrical socket on a car building channel. Okay, back to business. Car things. I'm also going to be tidying up the wiring in this today. Anyway, these things are the operating rods from my vane controllers for the turbos, and these are too short and rubbish. Basically, this end bolts onto the turbo little rod operating thing, and this end goes onto the electric motor. And they push them up and down like this. I'm not doing animations today. And since I've relocated these controllers further down the line, this is now too short. So I'm going to have to chop off this pipe section, keeping these ends, and somehow make something to bridge the gap in the middle and allow me to still use them. Easier said than done. So my plan is to use galvanized rod. Ideally I'd want to use tube because it's lighter and I don't know what kind of thresholds are programmed into these modules, but I'll be chopping this in half, attaching this connector to the end, bending it to the shape that I need it to, and then flipping it around and putting this connector on the end. Yes. I've quickly realised that it would be pretty boring watching someone trial and error bend a bunch of steel round bar so it fits in these weirdly tight orifices that cameras can't look in. But here's what I've made. That's right, it's almost exactly the same as it was before, just a slightly different shape. And here's how they fit. Now the word you're looking for is beautifully. And each one of them has about 40 bends in it. Now next on the agenda is making this fit into this, because as of right now, it's not doing a very good job of it. Now height-wise it'll probably be okay, but the main point of concern are these gauges on the side. As you can see, it basically chops it in half, and it's the same on both sides. Now my plan is to use this and this to make it a little bit floppy so I can bend it into the right shape. But if it turns out this is a thermosetting plastic, I'm in trouble. It is in fact a thermosetting plastic. This is not a good thing. Now that will be perfectly functional for test driving. All I have to do really is trim off these bits here and then that'll fit perfectly. But for now, just in case I have to do something else, this will stay. Now this is the part of the exercise where I have to start thinking about the go pedal. And after measuring the bracket on the firewall, I was able to measure something up and cut it out on the plasma cutter. Thankfully taking into account the weird little nubbin thing on the back of it. Anyway, naturally, it fits perfectly. Reason for dropping the fuel tank is to get access to this. So this is obviously the access hole from within the cabin down into the fuel tank. And until just now, I had all my fuel tank wiring coming down through this hole and joining into the fuel tank, where these fuel lines are obviously. Now this is not ideal. Now what I'm likely going to have to do is get these wires to run on the inside of the body and then come out through a hole somewhere in the body here. Most likely that one there. However, this is probably not ideal, and I may end up making a second one because this has obviously got a purpose and it's for all the tail lights. Now these are those aforementioned wires. There's one of these for each fuel pump, which is just a 4-pin plug, which will be easy to extend if I need to. And the rest of the little bundle is things like wheel speed sensors, suspension ride height, and other things that I'm not using. Obviously I'm using this one. And using my privative eyeball measurements, the hole is going to be about here, and the cables need to extend this far, which naturally brings them about 5 centimeters too short for where it needs to be. Now I've got to re-record this bit because I'm an idiot. But basically what I have to do is route this nice little stack of stuff through the outer bodywork of this car to keep it out of the way. I then have to have it protrude through the bodywork towards the undercarriage so I can then connect it to the fuel tank under here. And as you can see, I've made a start on it here, and it's looking a bit phenomenal. All I have to deal with is the same sort of stuff on this side, which involves getting this through the body somehow so I can connect it to the wheels that it needs to go on. But aside from that, the only thing I'm desperately worried about is the fuel tank wiring. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the last piece of today's fudge-doodery. This is the factory wiring grommet bit that goes through the body in that cavity somewhere under there. So what I'm going to do is get this stack of wires that has to also go through the same hole and cut another little hole in the grommet so they can share the same hole and be friends. And this is probably going to work horribly, but let's find out. Now I know it might come as a surprise, but I am in fact that good. Now you might be asking yourselves why I've pushed this car out of the way. Well, prepare yourselves for the fastest progress in the entire episode. And as you can see, the list of things to do before this car is drivable is getting steadily smaller. And in the next build episode, I'm going to drive this car properly. Note the lack of inverted commas. So seeing as many of you have likely taken apart cars, you'll see how close this is to being finished. Aside from all the things you don't know about. And this means that by law, you all have to do the thing that's found in my glove box.